Well, Mr. Cooke, this is May 19th, whatever, and I appreciate the time for the meeting and that. And what I want to get to real quick, and well, you know how long I've been down here yelling about
Yes.
stuff and everything. You know that already, okay? So I want to try to make this one of the shortest but most productive meetings I've ever had with anybody in the city. I hope you can do this. You know the power to do it. 3 years I've been going out in city council and announcing publicly that the John T. White Neighborhood Association is holding secret elections. They banned people, okay? According to Catherine Huckabee at that time, she was with Community Engagement,
Right.
said that's a violation, okay? I took it to Michelle Cooke. She didn't do anything. So that's why I'm at your doorstep, okay? Now, I've lived in John T. White all my life. I went to the elementary school there, and this is my home. I am banned from the neighborhood. I'm the one that revived it about 4 years ago. Spent several $100s, and I thought, let's get a neighborhood, because I got involved with all this stuff with the city, and I thought, let's get a neighborhood association going. It was going, but it died. And I got it going again a little bit, and I didn't put a lot of thought. I've never done this before, okay? Even a simple thing can be hard if you've never done it before. So I thought maybe I put a few $100s, rent the school, put some signs up. People did show up. I thought maybe someone would have some knowledge and want to step in and help, but that didn't happen. So I was left stuck with 2 steps there, and that was the end of my thing. And finally, Dee stepped up, which is real close to my council member, Gina Bibbins.
When you
and
say
said,
D.
Dee Smith.
Okay.
She's the president now of the
Okay.
John T. White Neighborhood Association. She came and said she would take it, so I gave it to her. But with the agreement that, I also told her, I said, you can have it, but and I'll support you financially, mentally, and physically, any way I can. But you have to send me the zoning notices and all the stuff you get from this, which is that you're supposed to do that. That stopped immediately. I've been banned, shut off from it, and and it's been done that way. And plus, they've not been doing a good job. They hold their meetings, which I was going to bring you a picture of the sign, which I can bring it off if you need it or whatever. Their sign, they hold the John T. White Neighborhood Association meetings outside John T. White. Okay, this kind of stuff, So anyway, what I've been asking, and I came down to council for 3 years asking this, and I think the first time I came down, somebody should have stepped up. The council member, community engagement, saying, what? They're holding secret meetings? Let's look at that. Someone should have stepped up. My hair was brown before I started this stuff, okay? But that's what it should have been right there. And then we're on the right track with the right city, okay? This is the 3rd time, and I got fed up with it finally. I said, I'm not asking anymore. I said, even Catherine Huckabee told me the last time I called her. I said, will you inform me when the meeting is? And she said she'd give me a week notice. I wanted a month, but she gave me a week. Said a week. She didn't do it. She didn't follow it through. So, and we still don't know where they have their meetings or all that, okay? So what I've been asking is that, our city data bank has all the churches on there and HOA and neighborhood associations. Now, shouldn't it be held to a higher standard than the public market, the people we have on our city data bank? Would you agree to that, Mr. Cooke?
Ask that question again.
Okay, the data bank that has the preachers and it has all these people on it, the pastors, the neighborhood associations, the HOA, all these organizations are on our city data bank, okay?
Okay.
Now, if those organizations are not functioning right, they should be removed from our data bank. Shouldn't they be held to some kind of standard, higher standard?
I don't think we're going to get into policing neighborhood associations.
We're not policing. I'm asking you what the data bank, what you put on the city data bank is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, but then we'd have to do research. And
You don't have to research. When you get complaints about someone,
Well, we're not going to, then we have to evaluate and research and investigate, and I don't think that's necessarily our role.
so
to do
what you're saying in the end, Mr. Cooke, is that if we have a corrupt neighborhood or organization on our data bank, it's okay.
that. I'm not saying that.
Well, you're saying we're not going to investigate them. We have a corrupt one on there. What are we going to do about it?
We have a corrupt one according to one person.
No, sir.
Just listen to me. That requires then somebody to do an investigation. Do I think we're going to get into the role of investigating there? No.
Okay, now you say you have it on one. I disagree with you there.
Well, okay.
Okay,
But
here's
there's
two.
one
Here's
person.
two.
There's one person sitting. in
Okay,
this room.
okay. It doesn't matter if any people are saying it.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Cooke? If you see someone doing something wrong, does someone have to tell you to do something about it? Or would you do it on your own? If you saw someone stealing something out of the city hall here, would you report it or not do anything unless someone told you to report it?
Let's stay on this one.
Let's stay on this one because it goes to this.
No, because of course you would. So
Okay, now wait a
back
minute.
to
Oh, you
this.
would do that, right?
All right.
Okay. Now, by fact, the neighborhood association is 100% in violation for
I know that by
banning.
fact. I know that by you.
Okay. Okay, then if you need me to bring the pictures of City Hall,
Okay.
we'll do that, okay? And we'll put the pictures on the screen, and once we do that, then you'll know they're in violation, okay? Now, once you know they're in violation.
Stop, slow down. Because I want to give you the full attention, right now. Violation of what?
Banning people from the neighborhood association, according to Catherine Huckabee, said that is against the rules.
Okay, so banning somebody, we can look into that, right? So that, how did they ban you?
They just shut me down. I can give you a picture. I go to Facebook, I can't get in. Other people have to tell me what's on the John T. White neighborhood because I'm not in there. I don't know when the meetings are.
Okay, so banning means they're not informing you when the meetings are.
I'm not a part of it. Ban means, you know what ban means.
But I'm just trying to be specific. Okay. But you're not getting information on the meetings, and they don't allow you to attend the meeting.
Or run for office.
Or run for the.
Or for the president, okay?
Okay.
That's banning.
Okay, I'll look at that.
You're looking at that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very specific. That's why.
That's very
so
specific.
those are
Okay.
very,
Let's give another one out here
Okay.
real quick too. Now, any of these neighborhood associations that doesn't have public elections, shouldn't that be in violation too of any kind of code, or can they have secret elections? Is that okay?
Well, I'd have to look at the different bylaws. No, listen out. So
I'm
each
listening. Don't worry about my hand signals. Go ahead. I'll keep my mouth shut. Go ahead.
Each association can have a different set of bylaws for the neighborhood association. I've been in different neighborhoods over my life, right? And there are different ways that you elect your members to that neighborhood association. So ask me that question.
Okay. Let me ask you this
So
question.
can they do it in secret?
Let me ask you this question. Okay, no, let me answer your question first.
Yeah,
Let me
okay.
get on it. It takes a second. I got a few brain cells left to work with. Okay, but think of it this. So you're saying that once you give it over to them, they can rewrite the bylaws that neighborhood association can have only the people they want to let know vote for their elections, right? Only them that want to let know, they can keep it secret, hold it somewhere else, they can do that, and that's okay. But you know what, Mr. Cooke?
Said it. I'd read the bylaws and I'd see
Okay,
if it
that's
actually
okay.
reads that way.
That's fine. You know what, they can do that. They can write it up and they can have it secret however they want. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I'll accept that.
All right.
Does the city recognize an organization that does that? Will the city think
See,
an organization like that's substandard does
I'm not going
that?
to say yes or no until I actually read bylaws that would say that is accurate.
I'm just saying that the bylaw
If that's
says that,
I haven't seen
then
it.
you still uphold them?
I'm not going to comment on that until I read one that might say that.
Okay, if it doesn't say
Each
that,
neighborhood association.
okay, if it doesn't say that,
Don't try to corner me.
I'm not
Sorry,
trying to corner, I'm
okay.
saying if it doesn't say that,
Yeah.
then that means they're in violation, right? So that
Right.
when you read the dialogue, they're either going to tell you that it's okay for them to have secret elections, or it's going to tell you they don't have secret elections, one or the other.
Let's
Then
be
what's your
specific.
response there?
Let's be specific. Are
Uh-huh,
you
that's what I'm
saying that the John T. White Neighborhood Association current bylaws states that they have secret elections in the bylaws?
I don't know. I've been banned. I don't know what they have.
Well, we can read
I'm
them.
in the
I get it.
dark. I mean,
can
you'll
get
have to
it.
read them. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the dark here. I don't know.
I can get that for you.
Well, I'll tell you what. You don't have to get it for me. You get it for you.
I'll get it for me.
Okay. And then when it says, if it does say they can have secret elections, then I want to know, is the city okay with that? Because you have power of the data bank. What's on our data bank? You have power on
If it says
that.
that, you're the first to know.
I want to know. I want to know what you're going to take them off the data bank.
I want you to know first what it says.
You may know what it
And then I'll
says.
tell you what I'll do.
And then you'll tell me what you'll do afterwards. Why would you have to wait for my okay? If it's wrong, you know right from wrong,
I'm
Mr.
not-
Cook. You just said so a while ago that
I'm
you would
not-
agree that if someone's stealing something, you would say something without being
I'm
known.
not
So
commenting on something.
this is not me. This is
I
the
know.
city.
Stop, slow down a little bit. I'm not commenting on something I haven't read or know yet.
Well, I was going to bring in a lot of stuff to lay it out for you, but I figured I didn't. I wanted to make this simple and true because and I can lay it out on the screen at City Council as well if we want to do it that way. Because it's not going to. I've
Well,
lived
you
here
just
all my
said you
life,
don't-
Mr. Cook. I
you
lived in that
just-
city all my life. I
you
went to
just
elementary
said
school,
you
and
don't
I'm
have-
banned from that.
You just said you didn't have a copy of the bylaw.
I don't have copies of my lives. I have
I'm gonna get you a
copies
copy.
of the being banned because I can show you pictures of Facebook where I try to go to it. It shows you cannot enter. That's what I get when I go there. That's banned. Carrie can go over there to get into John T. White, but I can't. See, she sent it to me. So that's what happened. She gave me. I said I can't get in there because I'm banned. Okay. Secondly, yeah, they did come outside of a meeting and hand me a official paperwork saying I'm banned, and I didn't even look at all that crap and I put it aside because how do you ban someone without even talking to them? You know, you don't even get to hear their side. It's one-sided. We decided this. We put the bylaws in. We decided you're banned. Fine, okay. But nevertheless, Catherine Huckabee with community engagement said that was a violation. You can't ban people, and you shouldn't be able to ban people. I think simply, no one has to tell me anything. As soon as, like I said, I've been there 3 years, and you would think when someone says, hey, they're having secret elections, you should know. just on moral value and right, that's wrong. That's wrong. Secret elections, that's just not communist Russia or whatever, or China. This is supposed to be, well, I don't know anymore, though. I'm really going to doubt that almost. I'm starting to question that. But at one time, the time I grew up in, elections were openly and everybody was invited for fair elections. That's all we want, a fair election. That's what I'm asking you, Mr. Cooke. If we, next month, hold a open, fair election for John T. White, everybody will be notified. I'll put signs up. And inside the city, you know, it'll be inside John T. White, okay? I'll put signs up and invite everybody down and say, you can run. I'll encourage people to run. I don't care about being president. I want a real president, that's all. But I'll run for it if I have to, because I think I can do better now. I know a lot more. But I will paper the houses with leaflets. I love doing that. I lost 40 pounds one time I first started. Y'all got me so mad down here. I put out leaflets. When I found out code compliance could write tickets without notices, and every 24 hours, that made me so mad. I papered every neighborhood in mine, but it didn't do no good. I found out how sleek people were too. But everybody said, I lost 40 pounds, so I wouldn't have lost. But nevertheless, I will paper it, everything. All I'm asking you to do is recognize, the city recognize a legitimate new John T. White Neighborhood Association. That's what I'm asking.
What I'm telling you I will do is I will look into those claims that you're making and tell you what I think after I know what all that says.
Okay. So once you know that I'm banned, which we can prove that really easy. Catherine Huckabee.
Sure.
And we can
That
show,
should be easy.
Matter of fact, that's easy, right? Because we
easy.
can show you, and Gina knows that. She's part of it. So, okay, once I've thrown I'm banned, that's in violation, okay? Okay, that's one. Okay, two, when I say secret elections, they're going to have to show something to prove it's not secret elections, like signs up in John T. White, leaflets, stuff. Okay, here's three. Number three, too.
Secret
This
elections.
is not going to
banned.
drag on for
Yeah.
months. I've been at this for 3 years. I'm fed up with it. This is something simple. It should be done simple, easily, and quick. Anybody, I really believe, when we get a real city people down here, they won't hesitate. Once they hear secret elections, that just send flags up everywhere. That's not allowed. Should not be allowed, period. Should not be recognized, should not be patronized or anything. So, and also, what was great, when I filed the criminal charges against Gina Bibbins and Michelle Gu for corruption and inflated pay, and that I included a neighborhood association, when I met with the detective, I don't know what's going anywhere, it's still open, I don't know, and I don't, you know what, the way everything's going down, I won't be surprised if it don't go anywhere. But anyway, I gave them all my evidence, but was what most important, most thing that was, exciting thing that I've seen, when the detective came in to meet with him, he already had a folder and he laid it out. He had the pictures of the John T. White neighborhood, all three of them there. And I thought, man, that was so impressive to me. It looked like some mugshots. I said, oh, that looks, even though nothing's going to go, but he was already looking into that. So, and they're partly involved in that because, like I say, they don't give out information to everybody. The council member owns them because of the zoning. That's why when they did 465 properties, they rezoning John T. White, the whole area, not one zoning sign went up. Let people know, you know what I mean? Neighborhood Association didn't say a word, not a word, okay? Townhomes going next to David's house, the director. Oh God, they have this big meeting, Gina comes out, we stop the townhomes, that's all noted, okay? They stop it. After election, they put the townhomes in by me. I'm still in John T. White. They just been moved over from his house, and here they come. You don't hear nothing from the Neighborhood Association. The woods being bulldozed down. The other day I was sitting upstairs in my house. I got a little bit of land, some beautiful trees. I wish everybody could have that, some room to. I would enjoy it better
Where do you
if I
live?
knew people had better. I'm on the east side of Fort Worth.
I
Right
know,
now.
but what street?
On Fay
intersection?
Street. I'm on Fay Boulevard, F-A-Y.
Okay.
Right there at 617 Face, my area, and it's, you know, it's peaceful. I mean, we got everything.
Yeah.
I grew up there as a kid. It was all country and it's all growing in. But I wish people could have more room instead of being put in little boxes to live. But the woods down the end of the street from me, this is what I really filed on Gina. When she came to meetings, her neighborhood association came to the meeting, bringing maps in. They had that 70 acres on the map, which I gave to the detectives, as A21, which, hey, we like that. That looks good. One house per half acre. We're acre, half acre, saves the trees. We've been wanting to say that looks good because it was A5, you know. After the election, it doesn't go A21. It stays A5. They bulldoze it down. Like I said, I sat upstairs the other day. It was a beautiful day. This big, beautiful owl came flying across my yard up to the trees. And about three things went in my head real quick. I mean, like a flash. One was, what was an owl doing in the middle of the day? You know? Second thing, I could hear the trees all suddenly real quick being pushed down by the bulldozers. they're pulling all that out of there. Matter of fact, I got some pet raccoons out of this I feed every day that come to the house now. But the animals come out of there, all that, and I hate, then it all hit me, the reality hit me, that bird is being flown out of this area because, they're bulldozing down. They're gonna put 400 houses in there now. And that's not what I get to take. I said, here's the main thing though. When the city comes to a meeting, they bring a map in, they put 821 on. They should not put 820 on there unless they can do it. There should have been a question mark, okay? Even you agree with that, Mr. Cooke, is that right? You agree?
Yeah.
Okay, that would take machine here. There should be a question mark, that's what I told you. I said, regardless what you do at the end of the day, this investigation.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'll look at the history of that zoning, because I think at one time, a lot of that was 821.
Well, you know what?
It
We
was
did
large.
it 10 years ago.
It was large
We did
lot,
a we did a big neighborhood thing out there 10 years ago, and that's what I yelled about too.
Yeah.
I said, why did we do this whole redistrictizing thing with the neighbors? This was not the city this time, this was the us, okay? Got it all done up, and 10 years later, they come through and just wipe it right out. 10 years is not enough time. When you're putting roots down, buying a home, you don't think 10 years. You want to be there 20, 30, I'd like people to be there, to stay alive would be nice, but nevertheless, but 10 years is not enough time when you're talking about investing your life and building roots somewhere, okay? And then they come through and rip it up. But these are the kind of things neighbor association won't say anything about. I'm blocked up, but you agree automatically that, and I don't know what you need to show. Well, yeah, you call and ask them to see if I've been banned. Dave officially banned me, came out of one of the meetings. I've been banned from a town hall meeting with Gina Bivens. See, my council member holds her town hall meetings in District 4, not District 5. I live in District 5. Our town hall, we got a big district, new community center been put on, but she holds a town hall meeting in a private place in District 4, and I get banned. I can't go in the doors. How you like that kind of stuff? And this is neighborhood association.
UT Arlington.
It's
UT Arlington.
Huh?
facility.
Yeah, that place there, But Gina, that's our council member holding stuff over. She should have held it at the Hanley and why the Hanley Neighborhood Association didn't speak out but agreed with that. She says, oh, it's okay wherever you hold it at, but that's because it's on. Oh, that brought up another thing real quick too before we end this meeting right quick, a couple of things. One thing, so at this one, I want to know pretty quickly, once you find out it's been proven I've been banned, and if anybody says that down there, if the neighborhood association says I've not been banned, by God, you bring them in, set them in front of me, okay? And let's get this over with. None of this bull back and forth, because I've been clearly banned by them, okay? That's a violation. You find it out, you can call Catherine Huckabee, whatever. Get that, and let's find out what your results are on that, okay? Second thing is, now, if a neighborhood association...
Secret elections.
Secret elections, you know what? We don't have no public ones. They don't put signs up or nothing, And I don't know about them because I've been banned, okay? I can't run. Okay, now, other neighborhood associations, because this whole data bank needs to be cleaned up early. This is what's wrong with our city. A lot of these neighborhood associations are more or less are city-owned. Just like when they did our public comment a little while back, the little thing the mayor did, having a redistrictizing meeting the same time as our public comment. You can only speak on one, but not the other. They flood it, but the city hall, well, that's where our news goes out to, neighborhood associations. And we had a crowd of people come down. I signed up on Thursday night. There were people that signed up that day were speaking before me. I had to sit there to the very end that night, 2 hours, and just wait to the very end because this is the kind of things I had to deal with down here. I guess I make people mad at me or something, but anyway. But they brought them in, and to hear them speak, and this is where I got it. One standing up saying, we appreciate this mayor having this special thing on by itself. They never come to a meeting in their life, moving it up to 6 o'clock and putting us in quarantine is not good. But anyway, these people are what I call the establishment that will not turn a blind eye to certain things to get certain things. And that's about 50,000 people in the city of Pearl. Put people in office like Baylock and them. The votes, you can look at the votes and numbers. They were going to run everything. And then we got about 900,000 people out there that don't have a clue and don't want to be involved because they've been treated badly, disengaged, bad news, no press, nothing. Our billboards don't say when we're having elections. Our front page, our city website doesn't have election. You got to know to go to the city secretary and look all that down. So they're disengaged. They're not encouraged to be involved. And that's what I've been trying to do for the last 10 years because I know the only way I'm going to get elected is to get outside the establishment out of that other. But then when I found out, that's what got me going. I thought, wow, we got all these people not voting. Surely you can get 3,000 or 4,000 out of 50,000 people. Boy, that was a mistake. You can't get people to budge hardly to do anything because it's years and years of conditioning. And I think it's got to start changing back in our school and get people back involved. Get our neighbors start electing their council members. start putting people in that care about us, and we'll talk to
We
them.
agree on
Yeah, we
that.
definitely.
You agree? Okay, well
Yeah,
then
we
that's why
agree
I
on
want to be back the
We
president of the
want
neighborhood
that.
association. So you agree with that? So we're going to move that. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I got off track. But
I
here's
didn't
another.
agree that you should be president of the neighborhood. I agreed that we got to get more people to vote.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Another thing on neighborhood associations, though. Okay, like I got off track a little bit, and I do that in bad.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole data bank really needs to be cleaned up in a lot of ways, and we need to get people in there that are held to a higher standard. Who is going to be the new director of the? You said Michelle Cooke is stepping down, is what I understand. She's being moved down.
No.
We have a new
That's
chief
not true?
communication officer coming in.
Huh? I understood that she was stepping down, and someone else is going to be the director.
Well, we'll have a new director of that department.
New director of that department?
Chief communications officer.
Chief communication. Okay,
person's
who's that
I'll make
person?
sure-
Who's that?
His name is Renee Tejas.
Renee Tez. Is he from here, or is he come from out of
He's
town?
coming from out of town,
From out of town. No one here. Okay.
from Austin.
From Austin.
That's where he recently worked.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
I'll set up a meeting for you.
That's what I want.
All right,
Definitely.
all right.
That's what I want. Thank you, Mr. Cole. We're on the same page. You know what?
Yeah.
I might even send you a bouquet of flowers or something
Nah,
here for your
don't do
wedding
that.
next
That'd
time.
be-
Okay.
that-
Okay. You're doing good
You
so
just-
far. We're
you
still
just-
we're
don't
still
waste-
batting 50-50.
Don't throw away your money.
Okay. Okay. No. The other thing is, like I say, these neighborhoods going to be cleaned up. Now there's a president of another neighborhood association. I just ordered 500 cards. I'm going to paper her whole neighborhood, and I hope I lose about 2 pounds doing this. Okay, I figure about a half pound per 100 cards I put out.
In the summer, you
And
should be
yeah,
able
I should do that. And I got to do it before election. That's what I do before 10 months. I start trying to
Okay.
lose 3 pounds a month for the next 10 months. That'd be 30 pounds, then we'll be ready for election day. Okay, 'cause I'm going to run one more time.
Okay.
But she.
Which neighborhood
This
association?
is the Brentwood Stair Neighborhood Association. Her name's Kat Kroll, I think. But Kat's her first name. She's the president. Okay. We've been at it a bit here because I put signs up along by Baylock sign during election time. I got big signs up saying, we need to stop the police we need the police to stop paying POA dues until the POA quits buying candidates. That's what's happening. I'm getting undermined by the POA, giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to my council member. We can't compete with that, okay? So we're asking them to stop paying POAs till the POA quits buying it. Well, this woman didn't like that sign. So she took my 5-foot by 10-foot sign down and dragged it home and sent me an email. I got the emails from her, okay? And said, do you not put signs up over? But she left Baylock's sign there, but she took mine down. And I came unglued because she could have just easily sent me an email saying, you need to remove your sign. You know what I mean? She could have done that. But she did. She called code compliance first. They called me. They couldn't take it down, so she took it down, okay? And anyway, we kind of been at it back and forth about this, her taking it down. And I did a criminal, I called the police as theft. Okay, if they did their investigation, actually it's on HOA property, so it can be a theft thing. So it could be a civil thing though, but the thing of it is, but she left Baylock's, but she took mine, so she targeted, okay? Kind of like we don't want the people to know only what I want them to know, okay? So I'm gonna paper her area, and I sent her, she owes me $250 because I put another sign up right away. When she took that, I had an older one about the police association. They're masquerading as a special interest. I popped it up right away. So what she do? She paints a big circle around it and a line through it like that. That's just facing property. That's damage. No president of a neighborhood association should be acting that way, okay? This is what I'm talking about, cleaning up this bank. We need people in there that act like adults. She could have contacted me. She could have said it's on HOA property. We're going to see about the rules and get it moved if you don't move it. She'd been 100% in her mind. I wouldn't have liked it, but she's right, and I would have followed it. Instead, she took it in her own hand and did it. But now, I'm dealing with this, not asking you about this one. I'm just saying our neighborhood associations all across our data bank needs to be cleaned up because there's a lot more people like her in it. And to have a better city is to have better presidents in our neighborhood associations is what we need. And there's more that need to be done, but I don't have anything on them, just my word there. But the John T. White I do have. This woman I do have, which I'm going to take her first. I'm going to paper her area. I got the cards going out, which also advertises my show. It also criticizes the POA. Lets people know that police give millions of dollars to POA. They turn around and put that money into candidates. That money should be going into, I don't know, fallen officers' wives or kids or equipment or something in that neighborhood. Something good for my show. Something good for the whole city, but not candidates above all, because it's undermining mine. And they put my name on a leaflet and mailed it out and said I was not recommended. POA did that and sent out thousands. So, how can I compete against that? And they don't even ask you a question. And they put all names on there and send it out like that. They have no business. So, and Manny, the president, is getting his payoff now for putting all this money in candidates. Now he's going to be a commissioner or whatever. He's going to win that hand. You know, I was talking to him before he even, someone else said he was going to run against him. He looked at him like, you're crazy. I've got that spot already. He does. He has it already. He's going to be placed there. I know that. And also, I done called and left word for Manning, and I left word for our chief of police too. Now, he didn't handle it right the other night when I asked him on the camera, would he take a question? He said no and left. You handle it right. You handle it right. And this is the way experienced people would handle it. Would be, yes, I will, but not right here. This is not the place. Now, I can't argue with that. So I couldn't argue with him there. That was right. Okay, that's very good. And that's, that's more professional. But we got people in spots that aren't professional. They run off, you know what I mean? And they don't, and it causes more suspicion, more problems and stuff, you know what I mean? So, and I got to change the decaf coffee because I said I wasn't going to talk, and I popped my head off tonight.
You got a lot of caffeine in there.
I do, no. But anyway, I'm going after her with the cards. I will take her to civil court too. I thought about that for damages. It might have been on HAO property, but she didn't take down.
You said you filed with the police when they removed it, right?
I did have the police come out. Someone told me, said, why don't you go over and do it? And I met in front of her house, and I had the police come out as a criminal. Because they took something that's not mine.
Right.
Theirs. And they took it home, and they had it. And they brought the sign out. The guy came out and brought it out. And so the police, he did his job. And then went to the Texas. They called me, and it could have been a serious, because it was over $140, it could have been a serious offense. But when he got through the Texas, I said, hey, look, I'm on your side. I'm for freedom of speech and all that. But it's on an HOA property. Okay,
got it.
So that gave me, if it wasn't on an HOA property. But now it wasn't her, she lives over here, but it was on an HOA property. But now here's my problem, maybe it'd been on an HOA, and maybe she had the right to take it down because it's on an HOA. One thing, she should have contacted me and done it in a mature way, okay? Not take my sign down, just run off with it like that,
Yeah.
That's not the way to be, and that's not a good precedent, that's what's on my card. I'm gonna paper her whole neighborhood, okay? And there's probably, a lot of people don't know they have a neighborhood association, but I'll be papering the whole thing. And then I'm going to take her to court if she doesn't pay the $200. It was $140. When she first took it down, I didn't charge her for labor or nothing. I said, I want $140 for my sign you took down, and we'll stop. Well, then instead she marks on the other one, so it went up, and she's not responding, so it went up to $250. So now it's at $250 is where it's at. But and she may not pay. It's okay, but I will take her to small claims court and go that route too. But at the end of the day, so what I'm talking about.
Time and money for all this.
Huh?
How do you have the time and money for all this?
Oh, if I told you that, Mr. Cooke, we'd have to have you killed. No, I'm sorry. No. Look, I've had a very great life, a very blessed life. The only thing I think about now is Judgment Day. That's it. I don't lie, because you can't get around it that day.
Nah.
If I thought I'd get around it, I might be lying. Okay. So that's the only one. These people don't mean nothing to me. No stupid little council job means anything. These people think those council jobs are so important. To act like they do, to trade your moral values and your soul for some stupid little council job. And people do it because the devil's possessions or temptations are stronger than what you can get afterwards to them, And I admit, in my early years, I was but I've been blessed. I worked for the Rolling Stones for over 20-something years.
Really?
I've got to go around, halfway around the world and see things and be around people you never would have dreamed.
Sure.
Sometimes I had to pinch myself. Is this reality? I'm right here. Mick Jagger's right over there playing pinball. At times I'll be going that far away, backstage, and that. So
What'd you do with them?
I'm merchandising, and what I did, I started off when I was 17. I started off bootlegging shirts, illegal outside Tarrant County, and that was changed. And I saw there was no future. But at 17, it was fun.
Oh, yeah,
it was a
all
blast.
cash, too.
It was you're not kidding. We set up the bars. But I saw an opportunity to get inside and took a big pay cut because I said, man, I want to do this. I want to get into this. I like this. I cut my hair off, got inside, and with my business partner today, still my business partner. But after vending shirts for about 10 years, I created a business here. I maxed out my American Express card and bought 100 pairs of binoculars and started renting binoculars at the Dallas Cowboys and concerts and stuff. And my connections from working, not having deep pockets, my business partner has deep pockets. And Fred's been my business partner. I said, let's go in. And in no time, and in 3 years' time, we had over 3,000 pairs, 35 venues across the state, and contracting into the band. So I contracted into the Rolling Stones and stayed with them for over 20 years. Same thing, we did 25 consecutive Super Bowls. In this business, I got to say, we took it to the top of that world. A lot of people would mean anything. That depends on what world you're into,
Sure.
In that world, we took it to the very top. 25 consecutive Super Bowls is what we did. Also, the Olympics in 94 94 and 96. I'm getting confused between the Super Bowl and the Olympics. Both were 94, 96. But anyway, the
Atlanta.
Olympics, Atlanta. Was that 94 or 96?
94.
94, okay. Did the Olympics.
Wait a minute.
Or 96. I know I did a Super Bowl there in 94 and I did the Olympics there in 94. So that's why they get crisscrossed to me.
96.
Was it 96? It's very
96.
possible. Well, anyway.
I know it was
Because you were living
84.
in that area.
You do 84, 88,
84 was
92,
LA.
96.
Okay.
Yeah, 84
Okay.
was LA.
I was there for that.
Well, that's the ultimate thing in that world, to be contracting there. I took a Winnebago down, took my little truck, towed it behind me, and parked in a motor home place outside of town a bit, and used the truck to run around. Had like 3 events going on at the same time. And I mean, we had them going on at the gymnastics and the basketball and all this going on. I'm like going that 2 weeks. Man, I was my head was spinning. I mean, the money was coming in, it was rolling. I mean, I said, we could have this every year, okay? Once a year, that'd do it for me. But anyway, no, I got lucky. I made a lot of good money all through the 90s with the Stones. I'm still with the Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm hoping to stay another 7 years. They'll give me 40 years, and that'd be a good swan song. If they don't find out how worthless I am, kick me out. But we got about 7 more years if I can make that, and I make good money there. But anyway, the business has took me up to where I make a really good money in the merchandising, on the concert tours for the Stones and that. And I'll tell you why we were number one and why we stayed up there, or what it was because we laid it on the table, our contracts. We were bidding for a band called U2, was doing a big stadium tour.
Heard of them.
You heard of them? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Panero's a good friend of ours with the band, and there was another company that wanted the tour, and we wanted it. And he asked us first, he said, would you be interested in splitting the tour? And we were like, oh, yeah, we'll share the tour. Okay, we're wide open.
Sure.
And Pernell calls me back a little later and he says, how long do you know this other company? I said, I don't know. He says, well, they sent in stuff talking bad about you, all this, and this left a bad taste in my mouth. You got the whole tour. But laying things on the table, being honest with these people like the Stones, that's why we stayed with them so strongly. Because not only they knew how much money we were spending here, they knew how much we were making at the end of the day. Everything was laid out. So it was laid out to them. And also, I've never been audited by the Cowboys or any of them. Our trust, I mean, I got to walk out of the stadium with a lot of freaking money at Cowboys, and no one even knows how much money we do on our stand. They just took and now we're going all credit card though. Now it's different. But it's okay though. We had nothing to hide anyway because I wasn't going to mess up this job, I guess, But anyway, and like I said, you can't lie on Judgment Day. I might have walked out with pockets full. No, I'm just kidding. but anyway, that's it. But anyway, the other neighborhood association, I'm going to take them to that trail.
Thank you for sharing that.
I'm going to take them to that trail, and then
Okay.
and I would like them, if they don't, honor that 250 and take care of her damages, they should be considered not a good neighborhood association to be on the list. That's not right. You damage someone's property, you take someone's property. I don't care about the law. We're talking about inside our neighborhood association, our data bank. And I think the people on that city data bank should be held to a higher standard than the public market. That's what I'd like to see, and then we'll have a better city overall. And the last and final thing, this is a good one too. Can you get me a meeting with Mr. Brandon Bennett, Code Compliance Director? I had one about 10 years ago, and now I can't get a phone call back from him, okay? Now, I want to find out, Mr. Code, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Does the city manager have more power
Do you
than the
remember
director of
we
Code
met
Compliance?
when I first got here?
Huh?
Do you remember when we met when
I
I
kind
first
of
got
talked.
here?
I was new at this too. I did a terrible job. I made one mistake. I went around the table. That's wrong. I made a
think-
lot of mistakes that
I
day.
think Charles Daniels was still an assistant city manager. You remember Charles Daniels? He was.
That's his
over-
name, wasn't it? The assistant city manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got an interview with him.
I met
recorded
with you. He was in the room when we met. I
He
believe.
might have been, and I met with him once, the assistant city manager, and I recorded and got a tape
Yeah.
with him. And I met with Brennett before I met with y'all. I met with Brennett,
Yeah.
and I taped that.
So, what do you want a meeting with Brandon to accomplish?
Well, the first time I had a meeting with him, I didn't know anything about city
This
stuff.
goes back 10
That goes
years.
back. I mean,
Right,
I'm
okay.
learning. If you spend 20 years with the Stones, grammar and spelling, all that didn't count around. All that didn't matter. This is a whole different world. When you get here, I had to learn over 10 years how to do a different approach, You had to learn. I'm coming in this as a wild-eyed, well, still am, but an idiot. But I've learned a lot more. And there's a lot of questions I'd like to ask. So that's the first time. You know what? I kept going to these things thinking that they could be solved quickly because they sound like cut and dry things. When you go in and say, the neighborhood association have secret elections, someone say, well, that ain't right, let's do something about it. Or I go in to Mr. Brandon Bennett and say, Mr. Brandon, I want to know, oh, thank you, but where's the scotch? But anyway, I want to
Not
know,
City Hall.
I want to know how,
Not 5 o'clock.
there's a lot of things in code compliance that needs to be reformed.
But what do you want to accomplish? So I
Okay,
think
the
what
one I
you're
want to
asking-
accomplish, I got
think
one
what-
thing to
okay,
accomplish
what
right
do you
now.
wanna
Well, here's
accomplish?
the number one thing. Do you want to put it Mr. Bennett, okay? Okay. 2 years ago, I got a call from a person, which I've gotten a few calls from people, and I've helped them about code compliance. And we stopped 3 citations. I mean, I got on the phone to his office and they got stopped, okay? And we've been in such a, one person I helped on this thing, and I came into the middle of it. He's in a wheelchair, he has 1 foot cut off, okay? He's a handicap, okay? And he said, well, they think it's being done right by code. Now, something happened earlier, because they already, right now, they got something against his house, like he gave me one of his deals and said, keep it, I get it every month. A lien against his house is $500 every month coming because of code, okay? What they were about, now, I wasn't involved then, but when I got involved, he said they cut the padlocks, they had done cut the padlocks on his house, I got the bid, they gave it to me and everything, that they were gonna go in and clean off the back part of his property and gonna charge him $3,600 some odd dollars, okay? Well, when I went over and I got involved, I had a couple of meetings with code compliant officers. One time they came out early, I met with them a little bit, and I asked one of the guys, I said, how in the world could you even see in the back of this fence? And one guy, the young guy, says, well, satellite. And I pulled out my tape recorder, I said, satellite, and he ran for the truck. His supervisor, Mark, was Supervisor Ken was standing there going, Mark was running for the truck. Code compliance officer shouldn't have to run off like that, okay? So we rescheduled another meeting. And I went over to look at the stuff too, and I was gonna clean up the property, but everything on the back of this guy's property is scrap iron. I couldn't do it. I started, I said, wait a minute. I'm not taking anything off the property. He can keep something on his property. I mean, I'm not gonna keep something, and I'm not gonna take something he doesn't want anybody, he shouldn't be messed with, period, okay? But nevertheless, it's all scrap iron, all scrap iron. The bill is $360, and what I call new era. We only have one company that does no bid contracts. They go out and just decide what it is, which I think is wrong too. Other people are a bit at that, but nevertheless.
So wait a minute, you say no big contracts.
That's
I'll
right.
check that out. I don't think that's accurate.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're
Okay.
the only one, new era. Maybe there's a bid
Okay,
to get to
I
be the
got it.
only contractor,
Yeah, I
but
mean-
you don't have any,
We have to bid all the work, so.
but this is the only one that decided the price of this job,
Got it.
okay? Okay,
Okay.
very good. I'm glad you took that
I
down.
need an address.
I can get that to you. I'll give you his address, everything. I'll send you the new era. I'll send you all of it.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
But
Right.
here's what the thing is. When they came back, well, also, it's all scrap iron. So I've got people that will clean up his property.
Sure.
And not charge him, but will pay him to clean up his property. Where it was gonna go from $3,600 more on his lien to where he would have got money but he doesn't want to, I'd say leave it alone. It's not hurting anything. It's all fenced in, leave the guy alone. But nevertheless, that's okay. It's okay. But here's the thing. When code compliance came back, I said, come out, I want you to show me what can stay and what has to go. I don't want to take something off his property that doesn't, okay?
Sure.
And they came back out, and I brought out cameramans inside the gate there. And here comes code. They park out there, and it's funny. We can see them. They're coming up the driveway, kind of slow, kind of like edging on up there. And all of a sudden, they get they're coming out. I went out and shook Ken's hand and said, come on up, Ken. I need you to show me what. And then they saw the cameraman. And they said, who's that? I said, well, Ken, now you're here. You've probably seen the video. You're here to do this, okay? It's really none of their business. And it's not none of their business. They shouldn't even care. They should do their job and go on. If I don't want to answer, I have a right to do that. We're 100% in our right to do that. And when I wouldn't answer that, he said, this meeting it's over with. They turn around and they bug him for the truck. I said, come here, Ken. They ran off to the truck and they left. I talked to Ken later. He said he'd come back. Then we had COVID. And no more return calls. This thing's still sitting in the air. And here's one problem I got with Mr. Bennett and this thing. When you open up a case, there's got to be a time that either you prosecute, do something, or shut it down. To leave it
Sure.
open for 2 years, and we don't get no return phone calls at all. They don't. This
You
has been
send me
open.
an address, I'll get all the data on that.
I appreciate it, and go back and see whatever because. But also, I told James, I said, look, let's get this off, get this cleaned up, and get it closed up. There's another case where the guys in the Walker. I helped him. You know what? They didn't come back and do an inspection. They didn't come back. They just went ahead and closed it for me because the guy was late. As a matter of fact, we filed charges on it. But anyway, there's several incidents of how they're acting. And I got pictures of code compliant, looking under things and all this stuff. So it needs to be reformed. But I'll send y'all that. But nevertheless, I told James, I said, let's get this off first. And once we get this off, let's go and fight and get that off your house too, the bill off there, because I don't know what happened at that time. But I can sure see something wrong here, okay? and this is wrong. I think it all needs to be off. You're handicapped, your foot's cut off, you're in a chair. How can they be doing this to you? I mean, this is not, I don't know if he owns it, probably his cousin owns it, whatever. But he lives there, and I've been out there, Code's been out there, we've been there. But I'll send you all
Okay.
that stuff. Do you have the email that I need to send it to, or
Yeah, send it to
you
me.
got a card, or, wow, that's, don't give me a personal card now. Okay, all right, look at this. All right, that's a manager's card there, that's big. Okay,
I don't
very
get cards
good.
like
That's
that.
very good, Mr. Cook. Okay, so I don't
Well,
want
if
to
you
take
want a
up.
business card, I'll give you a business card. Those are what I write stuff on, see?
Okay, but it's
That
got
way
that-
you can make yourself a note. Send me the address and all that
Bob,
stuff.
let me put mine on there. And you
Sure,
can
sure,
add me
sure.
too.
Right on
Yeah.
there, and I'll send the address and all that, and you'll get to it. But I kind of wanted a meeting with Mr. Bennett for two things. One was, I wanted to see if the city manager has more power than the director of code compliance, okay? Because I feel something
Okay.
deeper about code compliance than there should be, okay? I don't, it just, it shouldn't be able to function the way it's functioning right now, you know what I mean? And it's all across the country like this too, and it's kind of like a mindset thing. Because that girl that wrote me, they sent stuff behind my back, or lies and stuff on paper, and just things like that shouldn't be happening, shouldn't happen. But it just seems like code compliance, and remember, when they finally, it took me 3 years to get my side sent back to the people when they sent that stuff out. And I came down here, I told Mr. Costas, the assistant city manager, I said, he sent me a copy. See, Code sent some stuff out that weren't true about me, but when I was doing business for people, I didn't know anything about it. It had lies and stuff on there. I found out people, they called and jumped on me, was gonna break a contract. And when they finally settled down and we talked to them, I said, look, I'll take care of whatever problems, this, that. And then the conversation came along, and something got mentioned about documents they had. So they came up out of it, I said, boy, what documents? And then I called Code. I was not to know about these. They were behind my back. And that's what got me started 13 years ago in this whole thing, when they attacked me behind my back. So what I've been after for 13 years is that I would like to be able to enjoy my life at my home and take care of this stuff, but I can't live under a rule where these people can attack you with lies behind your back and no repercussions, okay? I don't think that's right. Secondly is when I found out they can write citations with zero notice, I didn't think that was right, okay? Because when you live in an HOA, you get a 30-day notice. They can write you a ticket every 24 hours for the same violation, And when I've gone down to some of the things, I learned something, well, I can go on all day about this, but I'm not going to. But when I saw the
This is in
tickets.
letters. Oh, there's
Yeah.
all kind of documents.
I'll tell you, how much time you got?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Let me check.
We might have to schedule another day. No,
About
no.
5
But when I saw
minutes.
that at the courthouse right down and saw how many tickets, the code right now, some people, I thought it was ridiculous, like 20-something tickets to a person, I was counting on my boys, 20 here, 24 of that one. This is crazy. They don't do that in other cities. Some of them, I'm with this. If it's an environmental thing, you notice file, you give them a certain 20 or whatever, according to the damage it's doing. If they don't fix it, you don't bother writing tickets. You go in and you just bring the people in, take care and fix it. If it's environmental. If it's another thing, a nuisance ordinance, same thing. But give them a 30-day notice. Jesus. They say they give you 10-day notice, but it's not in writing. Actually, you get zero. And if you ain't done it in 24 hours, you can get a citation. So you don't get any notice, actually, because you get a ticket in 24 hours. That's not enough time to fix anything, is it? Would you agree, Mr. Cook?
Well, I want you to send me that
I
information.
want you to answer
will
that
look-
question, Mr. Cook.
not
That's
gonna-
not enough time, 24 hours to
It
fix something?
depends what the issue is.
Well,
So
say you had to
can't
have your
cover
yard
everything.
mowed, your yard was too high. You had to do it in 24 hours or be a
If it's
ticket?
a nuisance thing, no, you don't. But if
But-
it's a public health issue, yes, you do. You gotta get that cleaned up
I
fast.
agree with going in and doing it, but they have to be, treated decently, that's all. And if
Yeah.
they're not doing it right, go in, instead of writing 20 freaking tickets down. It's like Cindy was saying, we'd save money on paper, and all these tickets, but nevertheless, that.
It's just like
but-
we're in a new era with this digital stuff.
Yeah, so we don't have to do paper. I know, I told her that, I know, no. But that's why I wanted to meet with Mr. Cook, or with Mr. Bennett, because I wanted to see if you have the power. Mr. Bennett is the director of code compliance. He should not be scared to meet with me. He shouldn't be scared to meet with me, should he?
Scared to meet with anybody.
Okay, well, good, then you'll set it up.
I want you to send me
I gave you the
that
idea of
information.
what we're talking about, so you can
Send me that.
pre-warning.
And then the question I'm gonna ask before I schedule it for you is, what do you want to accomplish in the meeting?
I want to accomplish a peace of mind knowing that you have more power than Brandon Bennett.
That's not worth the meeting.
That's not worth a meeting?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, another thing is, what I want to accomplish is that if I get Mr. Brandon Bennett in a meeting again, the evidence that he can't answer and the things he can't do, we may be able to bring down and say, you know what, we need a different director, Mr. Cooke, because listen to this man. He can't answer questions. What's he doing up there, Danny? He's supposed to be a qualified worker?
But to be fair, let's play it out. You send me the questions you want answers to.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I could send them to you, but
Okay.
I do. But I don't want him to get out of a meeting. You know what I mean? If you have to be there with him, okay?
But if we're just
I-
having a
I
meeting
just-
to have a back and forth about different opinions, that's not a good meeting.
No, we're not gonna
If you
have
have
opinion.
specific questions that
Okay.
you want answers to, I can help facilitate that for you.
Okay. You can do that. Okay. Okay. We'll go that. That's fine. Yeah, I do have situations, you know, simply like, let's change the rules like HOA. Let's give 30-day notices for nuisance ordinances and 30-day for, and this writing citations over and over is ridiculous, you know, it is. And then we gotta make a note in there. I'll tell you one. I got one, just came to me, a good one. I got a good one. We need a policy, this might answer everything, Mr. Cook. We need a policy written in the code compliance that they cannot have the privilege to lie, okay? That's in the Bible, top 10. They have the privilege to lie without repercussions, and that's true. You agreed to that when you said that when I had that meeting with you, and you said,
you said you didn't even remember
I'm-
meeting with me 8 years ago.
I remember that
7
part.
years ago.
I remember that part because I went around saying, I said, even Mr. Cook confirmed that they have the privilege to lie. And I put that out on Facebook next door and everything too back then.
I don't remember any of that.
Well, anyway, I'm telling you again now, but they have the privilege. Okay, so that's what we need in their policy written, that they cannot have the privilege to lie, because when they're caught in a lie, then they need to be some kind of penalty for that, okay? And that's what they did to me when they sent those papers out with lies on them, 100% lies that were easily proven different, but there's no repercussions for it. That's why when I went down the ethical charges against them, when I took down the trail, then you found out, well, the officer hadn't broken no rules because there's no rule against lying, okay? And that's why I couldn't do anything about the officer when she wrote me my bogus tickets. She wrote me 2 tickets, one out of malice. And the whole thing was crazy because the agreement, I have some extra property I leased, another acre of land, so I was cleaning up. We're out there in the middle kind of country. I wanted to do this at my own pace, you know, when the weather's nice and enjoy it, you know, and I'm cleaning up the property because I want to put horses over there too. So I had no reason to bring up trash and just leave it forever. I'm cleaning it up, but you get a pile together and then you can get hauled off. Well, that's what brought code compliance in. And I said, as long as I put it out the road, and I was, they can take it away. And I also informed her, I said, they only take so much though each time, about the size of a Volkswagen. And I was doing that. And I had the pictures and I showed I did all this. Instead of that woman ever talking to me, an officer ever calling me, asking me if I'm sick or anything, I think the thing I get out of this deal, I think I'm on track. I'm doing my thing. I'm out of town on a show or something. I get back in town. My uncle said, hey, Mary, the owner property, they're up the set. They got a citation. Well, she did, the people I leased from, she wrote them a citation. Right off the bat, just sent them a citation. She didn't call to see, well, Mr. Willoughby, didn't we have an agreement to take this off? Are you sick? Did anything happen, Mr.? No contact. Just took it to them, and then they jumped on me. So that's wrong. And then she wrote me 2 tickets, and that's when I found out. And she held one back for 13. She wrote it on the 13th, didn't mail it till July. So now here's the way I got the tickets back to back, but one was written, and it shows them separate on books. I can see it shows that she wrote it on the 13th and then wrote another one on July the 1st. Okay, that's what it looks like on paper, separated, space. I didn't get this one on 13. Looks that way, but I didn't get it. I got it right up here next to the other one. Okay, that's when she mailed it out. That don't right next to intimidate against me or whatever, because I went to her supervisor. She never returned a call. I never could talk to the person that wrote me the citation. She never did answer nothing. Never. And even when I had a meeting with Mr. Bennett, oh, that was beautiful. I wish I'd had a camera on that. It was Kodak, because I brought some people with me, and he brought people with him. He didn't come there to solve that. He came there to attack. He brought assistant city manager, the assistant director, and Tony Hiller, and I forgot his other name, the other supervisor. He brought all those in with him. I had some people sitting with me, and when they hit the door, they stopped. The look on his face was like, they thought it was just going to be me, and that'd be an easy pushover. And they didn't know who that was, you know. So his help was really quiet, and I got him on tape. He contradicts himself. He can't answer questions. It doesn't, you know, I can be this way because I'm not working for the city. But he is, you know, we need people that can do like you, Mr. Cooke, and, or Charles Daniels, the assistant manager, when I met with him. That was, you know, he didn't do anything for me, but he did answer questions. He didn't try to manipulate me. He didn't try to do any of that like Brandon Bennett. He'll try to put words in your mouth and all that kind of, I don't like that. I don't like it at all in a director, okay? I want some, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I
Go
don't mean
ahead.
to interrupt, but just in the interest of time, because I know Mr. Cooke has another meeting. in a
Okay, I'm
couple
sorry.
of minutes.
No,
No,
that's
'cause
good.
You saw, I've been taking a
No,
lot of
no,
notes.
that's good, that's good.
So
We got-
I have some
You've got enough
follow-ups
to
do,
digest there.
And then you'll send the.
Right.